Start of the second quarter. The Bears up 28-8 on Croton, and they will get the ball right back off of a careless turnover from Caitlin Reynolds.
Bears not letting up the pressure right out of the gate in the second quarter. You know, they're coming right at the Croton Tigers, pressuring them even in the inbound, and it's just really causing a lot of trouble for Croton to kind of get into their offense. So a huge thing the Bears definitely were able to capitalize on and see if they're going to keep on doing it throughout the game. I mean, obviously, as the lead grows, they might let up, but for now, they're completely suffocating this Croton defense from the start.
Jackie Contento fell down, and a turnover was called, and now a push being called on Julia Barbalato, her second. And with 7:41 to go in the first half, Bears are getting everything and anything that they want. The inside feed from Reynolds wouldn't work, and Maya Salage able to scrum for it and get the virtue of the held ball, which will go with the Bears. Bears trying to run some offense now. Barbalato couldn't escape the trap, and then after falling down, she is called for the block. So an unfortunate sequence of events for Julia Barbalato, as she's now picked up 3 fouls and will find her seat on the bench. There's plenty of game left to go. She cannot pick up any more fouls, so Don Hamlin will wisely give her a seat on the bench. This is Kehoe, who has it back again. Now driving inside, rejected by Maddie Plank. Grace Ryer had it knocked out of her hand as she went up for the shot. Coach Don Hamlin telling his team to go faster. Plank a 3, too short. We're used to seeing those drop from Maddie Plank. Looked like a good line, just a little short. And a nice layup converted by Caitlin Reynolds. Little now you see me, now you don't with the ball. She got the defender to bite, although the Bears are going to move quickly as well. 28-10 the score. Active hands this time coming from Croton, and Ryer comes up with it. Ryer into the paint. Too strong, but Croton has the offensive board. Reynolds, no good. Again, the Bears struggling on the defensive glass, and Croton converts again.
And Croton's not really letting up in this game. You know, they saw that first quarter lead, and they didn't really give up. They came right out of the gate. Even with the Bears' pressure, they're still getting down the court and still finishing on a lot of possessions, and they're pressuring the Bears on offense, something that very few teams have been able to do all year. So definitely got to credit Croton coming out and almost neutralizing the Bears' pressure here in the second quarter.
4 straight points to open up the quarter. Bears held scoreless for the first 2 and change. And the lead is now 14 for the Bears. Croton on a little bit of a comeback inside to Plank. Nearly a circus act, but it hit the bottom of the rim, and now a held ball. Look like different signals from the referees. One has a held ball, one has a kick ball, and it's going to go to Croton.
And Coach Hamlin definitely has to love the effort Kelly O'Donnell's giving on the block. She's getting every single rebound, or if not getting him, going after him, getting on the floor. Something that Coach Hamlin definitely wants out of his big man, something he really hasn't had in a couple of years, and she's going to be a huge key. You know, if they're going to try to make a county center run, they need a big man that's able to get the ball and want the ball. So definitely someone that you got to look at for in this game and even for the rest of the year.
Another foul called on the Bears, as now they've picked up a few in the last couple of minutes. Lombardi picks that one up, just her first. But once you get to 2, typically you'll be taken up before the half unless they really need you in there. At the moment, Bears still comfortably up, but Croton has now put the pressure on. Grace Ryer and Caitlin Reynolds have put the Tigers on their backs. And this is Ryer looking for an option. Bears defense seems to be collapsing in and out a lot and leaving some people open. Good poke by Kelly O'Donnell. And the shot clock is at 16.
Now, Bears haven't scored a while in the second quarter, but they're definitely using their defense to their advantage. You know, their offense, while it is one of the best in Class B, it's probably not always going to work for them, so they definitely have to rely more on defense. And we talk about a county center run. Defense is going to be a huge key for them if they are going to make that run at the goal ball.
And what should have been the last 16 seconds of a Croton possession was ended by just a poor attempt at a catch and an easy turnover for the Bears. And Jackie Contento was easily able to turn that into points. Probably about as easy a bucket you'll see. And now a held ball. So Croton will be inbounding with 20 left on the shot clock. 4:41 left in the half. Inside. That layup is good. Coming from Kehoe. Now long toss for the Bears inside. Maya Solage pivots outside. Contento's not going to shoot. Rather dishes it off, but more active hands coming from Croton. They're giving the Bears a taste of their own medicine as Maddie Plank is ready to check in on the sideline. Good poke, though. Casey Hamlin. And another held ball. This time it's going to go to the Bears, so more active hands causes a change of possession. Plank will enter with Smith, and O'Donnell will find a seat on the bench, along with Silage. 4 and change to go in the second quarter. Bears up 30-16, but Croton's made it a little tighter. Hanlon was short on the mid-range jumper. And now that Bears defense, Hanlon able to come up with it, and a circus act, which will draw the foul. That vicious double team by Lombardi and Hamlin led to the scoring opportunity, which sends Hamlin to the line. She was 1 of 2 on her previous trip. Can't convert on the first one. And with just under 4 minutes to go in the first half, Joe, what's been different about this quarter, this 4 minutes and 6 seconds that has brought Croton back to life?
Well, I think for Croton, you definitely got to give them credit. They're hitting some really tough shots, a lot of contested shots. But the Bears are still holding in there. I mean, they're not completely losing their lead that they had, but they're struggling a little bit. You could see there's a lack of ball movement, but you got to give Croton credit. They're hitting shots, when they need to hit them, and they're putting pressure on these Bears to make these shots, and that's something that teams really need to be able to look at and say, all right, we got to pressure this offense, because you're not going to pressure their defense. Their defense is what it is. It's one of the best in the section, along with their offense. You got to pressure the offense with more offense. If you keep scoring, keep running the score up, you're going to force these girls to try to take more shots, and maybe you can get shots that you don't want for them, as Casey Hamlin hits a 3 in the corner. But if you make them force shots they don't want to take, you're going to lead them to missing shots. Game's going to be closer. It's going to be more of an interesting game, and that's what Croton's doing right now, although Bears are starting to come back to life with 2 3 balls here.
Bears regaining their stroke. First a layup from Lombardi, and then after a double dribble and another turnover coming from Croton right now, Hamlin was able to drain a 3, and just like that, the Bears' lead is back to 20 and pretty comfortable. 36-16, showing on the scoreboard with 2:45 to go. That pass, not quite sure who it was intended for. Maddie Plank takes ownership of that turnover, and Reynolds way off, and the save attempt, I think came from Casey Hamlin, ended up in the Tigers' hands. A 3 coming, Noel. She's got that. 36-19 now. Croton answers back with a 3 of their own. Driving inside, Lombardi. Absolute demolition. And she had no doubts and no hesitation going into the paint there. She was scoring whether the defender knew it or not. Now trying to answer back. Ryer, not able to get the bucket to fall, but she will draw a blocking foul. Smith picks up her first. She had foul trouble in the last home game against Pleasantville. But so far, the Bears having just committed 5 fouls in the half thus far with 2 minutes to go. Pretty good sign so far, as they've doubled Croton's point total, 38-19. Ryer couldn't hit on the first. Second off the mark as well, but good hustle coming from Noel. She's able to elongate this Croton possession, and more good passing that causes that Bears defense to come in, and then just being a step late to move out, and that's another 2. And now Maya Salage called for a travel. Croton answering back with one of those responses.
And Croton going right after Jordan Smith. Definitely the game plan coming into this second quarter was try to get their bigs into foul trouble so that driving to the cup won't be as challenging. I mean, Jordan Smith is a big girl. She's 6'1". You get her out of the game. That is a huge difference there, and it can certainly help the Croton Tigers throughout this game.
One thing that the Bears really have struggled with in the second quarter is defensive rebounding. Croton is, whether they're just getting the luck of the way the ball is bounding off the rim or just the hustle, it is so far all Croton on the offensive glass, but Maddie Plank able to answer back with a nice move. 40-21. Now Noel, open jumper, no good, and Bears are going to look to run in transition. Salage inside, off the mark for Plank, and now it's going the other way. Transition basketball being played, and Hamlin's going to kite the foul.
And someone we haven't really seen too active on the offensive scoreboard is Maddie Plank. I mean, she does average 25 a game. She's been almost, invisible on the offensive side of the field. She's more of a playmaker now, but definitely Coach Hamlin, if he wants to put this game away, he has to use Maddie Plank and her offensive talents.
Caitlin Reynolds will go back to the line. First one was no good. Just a freshman, so plenty of high school basketball ahead in her career. And now an over and back being called, a backcourt violation. Didn't quite pick that one up, but I guess I'm not the ref.
A lot of bad turnovers in this quarter for the Bears. Definitely going into that locker room at halftime. Coach Hamlin definitely is going to talk about turnovers. A big reason why the Bears are still keeping the Croton Tigers in this game right now.
And again, in this game, meaning 19 points. The Bears, been a tale of 2 quarters. Outscored Croton by 20 in the first. And they have been outscored by 1 here so far with 38 seconds to go in the second quarter. Noel, a 3. Too strong. And then a foul called, as Lombardi clearly had the ball secured. Shot clock and game clock a second and a half apart. 31 and a half to go in the second quarter.
If I'm Briarcliff, I'm definitely holding 4-1 shot, and I'm going to give Maddie Plank the ball. Got to get her going on the offensive board right before the end of the first half.
15 to go on the shot clock. Plank's going to hold it. It looks like she has an idea of what she wants to do. Shot clock winding down now at 5. Hamlin's turns back, flies into the middle. They got to get a shot away. Lombardi hoisting up a long 3. Off the mark. And I don't know if the half is going to come to an end. It looks like both teams are going to head to the locker room, as the shot clock expired a second and a half before. But it looks like we are going to go to the half with the Bears up on the Croton Tigers 40-21. We'll be back in 10 minutes.